Okay, so today's session is brought to you by the agency Works. My name is Louise Neal and I'm here with my colleague Rebecca Cash, and we're the experts in making Synergist work for you and your company. You may well have had dealings with us in the past, and we're partners with Synergist, who are the software providers. So today's session I'm using GoToWebinar. You may well have joined one of our webinars previously. This presentation is attached to your GoToWebinar toolbar, so please feel free to download the presentation that we're looking at now. There is a link here to the release notes. So everything that we're going to be showing you today is included in those release notes with screenshots. So hopefully you won't need to take too many notes because everything is documented inside those release notes. This session is in listen only, but there is the ability to ask some questions. So if you do have any questions, please locate the area on your GoToWebinar toolbar and you can then ask the question, and we'll either answer during the session or we'll endeavour to follow up afterwards with you on a one-to-one. We've also got a couple of polls that we'll launch just to make sure to ask if there's any particular feedback or if you'd like us to contact you in the future. Okay, so as I've said, you should now be able to hear me. If you're able just to pop me a quick thumbs up or let me know that you can hear me and that you're sitting nice and comfortably, then we'll be able to start on the presentation here. Excellent. Great, thanks for that feedback. So just to let you know then that the Synergist version 12.2 has now been released. So we've had companies on this now for a couple of weeks. The upgrade is included as part of your Synergist support contract. So there's nothing additional to pay. Once you have been upgraded, you can't revert back to the previous version. And you will be contacted each week. You'll be contacted for the companies who are going to be upgraded with the option to opt out of the upgrade if you want to, or if you want to delay it for a period. Now, the upgrade does involve an upgrade to the 4D client. So if you are a desktop user of Synergist, it does mean that you do need the new desktop, the 4D client software installing. So the help desk will arrange this for you, but it will mean that you'll need a new shortcut. The same username and password will apply, but you will get a new shortcut to access. If you're trying to encourage your users to use the browser version of Synergist, then perhaps you might consider not putting that 4D client onto everybody's computers and potentially just for a few, and that might encourage them to access via the browser instead. So a selection of companies will be upgraded each week. There is a program. We're kind of alerted each week as to who those companies will be. If you do want to find out when you will be, then please do ask. And if you would like to be adopt some of this the functionality earlier, then again let us know, because we can request to bump you up the queue to be upgraded if there's something that you see that you think will be particularly useful. The whole process should take around sort of 6 to 8 weeks, so it's not going to be months and months until you get this new version anyway. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to move to the our version of Synergist here. And we are going to start to show you this the 12.2 and cover a few different areas. Okay, I'm going to hand over to my colleague Rebecca, who's going to talk you through some of the new features within the calendar bookings.
Immediately on entering calendar bookings, you'll see that there's been quite a few updates to the screen, and this will start with this feedback interface that you can see next to each booking. This is a smiley face or a sad face that denotes where in the process your job is. So a green tick is that the job has started and it's currently in progress. A happy face is that the job is finished. You could have a orange question mark where the job needs more time, or a red sad face that the job has stalled, just giving you an at a glance status update of where that job may be. There's been other updates to the calendar, and I'll go through each of these. I'll also go through how you add in this feedback interface. One of the other updates includes the hover text, which you can see here. So we have enhanced this and made it much more complete in terms of an overview. We have also added the ability to have a right click on any of your buttons. The right click allows you to edit or copy a booking. Copy a booking is particularly useful if you have pre-standing events such as a meeting that happens once a week. You can copy that booking. You can delete it. You can revert it to draft. What you can also do is use the right click to navigate through the system itself. So you can jump to the job, the phase, or the estimate. The right click also enables you to have a filtered view of your calendar, which is quite important if you just want to see bookings that relate to a particular job or to a particular client. So if I just go on a client, I can see all the bookings that just relate to Heathrow Express. You then have the ability to move these bookings. So if you look at just job bookings, you could move all of those job bookings all together a week or two in advance, whatever you need it to be to allow for changes in timelines. And you can do this by clicking on your preferences button up here. Sorry, filter actions up here and move bookings and select your number of weeks that you want to move it for. Then you can always go back to showing all bookings at any time. So one of the biggest enhancements to the calendar booking screens is the ability to see an overview of where your capacity challenges are. So this is called the loading view in Synergist, and you can see that red is when you may be over capacity, green is when you have capacity available, and yellow when you are at capacity. You can always expand on one of these and move a booking from the loading view by just dragging and dropping it to where you want it to be. Within Synergist, we have functionality called requisitions. Now, if you're not familiar with a requisition, it's the ability to, from a job, put in a request for a certain amount of time. People use requisitions as a to-do list or as a complete overview of what has been requested. Now, with the new release, you can categorize your requisitions. For example, you could have artwork requisitions, you could have creative requisitions, and you can see the different types of requests that are coming through to your studio team down here. We also have the ability to filter on these different types. So you can just pull up the requisitions that relate to you, and this is particularly useful if you have different people booking different types of jobs. So then we're going to jump into the My Calendar. The My Calendar has changed quite a lot, and this is where that feedback interface comes into play. So whoever the user is, they can click on their booking and they can change where that job is in progress. So just by clicking on each one, it will change the little button at the bottom. What we've also added in is you've always been able to have attachments linked to a requisition, but you can now access them from My Calendar. So if you wanted to upload a brief to a booking, you could do so, at which point your creative team can access that brief straight away, and they can look in advance and find things, and it's all in one quick place for them. We've also enhanced the timesheet access from the My Calendar with the ability to link to your full weekly timesheet or to complete a quick timesheet, which will post the hours immediately from here. So within that now, we are going to quickly jump back into activities, and we'll look at some of the activities. So requisitions are a type of activity, but there are others that you can have. And what you can also do now is look at activities in terms of a follow-up. So we can create one activity with lots of follow-ups linking through. So you don't have to go back. You don't have to find all the individual activities to that one client job phase. An activity can be used as a to-do list. It can have emails, it can have tasks, it can have meetings, it can have phone calls. And after each one, we have now added a follow-ups tab. And the follow-ups tab will show you everything that's come before in one easy to digest place, allowing you to keep everything all together and to give timely follow-ups to your clients. So what we've also added within the new release is an enhancement to the alerts. The alerts currently come into your inbox. However, now we have enabled hyperlinks within the alerts. So if we link to an email, this will come in and you can see the hyperlink here. Now, when you open that, it will open a new page within Synergist, a new tab. So it won't overwrite where you're working. It will open it as a brand new tab and it can take you directly into an activity. If it's a budget alert, it could take you directly to that job. So it's quite vast in where it can navigate you to. So we've also included the ability to have new tabs. Just by clicking on the face icon here, you could say open Synergist in a new tab. This is quite useful if you're working on, say, an estimate and doing your calendar bookings at the same time. You can have them side by side in different windows within your browser, not just within different tabs in Synergist. So we're going to now look a bit into GDPR and what Synergist has enabled on that.
Okay, so GDPR is quite a hot topic at the moment, and hopefully it won't be too long until you get upgraded with this new version. And Synergist have looked at enhancing the functionality so that your company can prove their compliance in relating to GDPR. So what's happened is you'll notice on the obviously GDPR is kind of relating to contacts. So whether those contacts are client contacts or prospect contacts, it's all about individual people. And of those individual people, you can see on the right hand side that there's a new tick box there to show that those particular contacts have opted in to any communication. So however you get to know that they've opted in, whether you're sending out mailers to your contacts and asking them to opt in, and perhaps managing that through a marketing tool, that actually it could come back with a list of companies, list of individuals who have opted in, and the functionality on Synergist has enhanced. So if we just go into one of these contacts, then we can see where we could store the person's email address and telephone numbers, personal data. And there's a new tab here, it's been added to the Notes tab, so it's now called Notes and Privacy, that allow us to tick that somebody has opted in to communications. And so previously the tick boxes were all about opting out, so now it's about opting in. Further to this, we've got the ability to say that this opting in has been verified and where the source of this opting in came from. Is it something that came from a marketing request? You know, how did that particular person opt in? In the background, that's date stamping it so that you can actually then you can create a list of companies that have opted in and when they opted in as well. Those sources can be updated in the file maintenance area of Synergist and the lookup lists. There's the ability to update the source of those opting in so that you can actually customize those there. You can still opt people out of certain things. So if they've opted into communications, but actually they don't want you to send them the emails, then that can be added as well. Okay. On our system here, we've set up a selection of views, company views, and these have all been created using the filter icon and the ability to save a view, so that we can quite simply just run a list of all the people who have opted in and been verified there. So it's just showing you those ones with the ticks against them. And you can use the filter icon to filter with a particular date range, because these would be the ones that you wanted to be able to send out any marketing to or be contacting. And you can easily select all of those contacts by clicking in the little square on the right left hand corner and using the export button to export those contacts out so that you can use those to send in your marketing material. Now, there is more to this GDPR sections, and we are going to be holding separate sessions on the on GDPR. If you would like us to contact you with some more information about the GDPR, then please do let us know. I'm just going to launch a poll there so that you can just give us a little feedback. And if you do want us to contact you with some more information, then we'll be in touch within the next few days. Okay, so thanks for that information. There we go. Okay, so the next area that's been included in version 12.2 is the revenue management feature. Now, the revenue management is an optional functionality. It's included for all desktop users. And it's also included depending on what cloud version of Synergist you're on. So the foundation tier, this is not available. So it's available for the higher tiers. If you're not sure which tier you're on, then please do get in touch and we'll be able to advise. And the revenue management module allows you to recognise or defer income. So this depends whether this is relevant for your organisation, and this is where you're perhaps invoicing in advance that you haven't done the work yet, and it allows you to defer that income and then choose to recognise it in a future period. And so this is something which Synergist kind of adds toward. It doesn't actually create the journal in your accounts package, but it would provide you with a report so that you could easily do that journal, and it would also mean that your figures within your finance package were reconcilable against the figures within Synergist. So the revenue management wasn't fully included before version 12.2, so this revenue management screen has now been added, and you can see there what's been invoiced and recognised. There's a slight change to the screen here from the desktop if you're already using this module, in the fact that when you click on the item, the individual job here, it will take you straight the way through to that particular job so that you can complete the revenue management. Now, there's another change here, another enhancement, and it's relating to the billing plans. So the billing plans here, you can see that I've got a billing plan for April that has a planned value and an invoiced value as well. So we can see how much has been planned, how much has been invoiced, and the particular amount and the invoice number here. And on this one, nothing has been recognised. So the value has been deferred because it's been invoiced in advance. So now what we've got are an additional 2 billing plans here that show that we're forecasting that we're going to be recognising that value over the next 2 months. So this will help you with your revenue management. So this has been set up by adding a new billing plan and this new field which has been added onto the billing plans here, which allows you to forecast a recognised value. So there is no planned invoice value, but there is a planned recognised value relating to this date. So that's new, a new feature, and I know that there are lots of companies who I've been speaking with in the past few years who will be able to make benefit of that functionality. So we're really looking forward to working with you on those. If you would like us to contact you relating to the revenue visibility module in Synergist, then please do let us know and we can contact you individually regarding that functionality. Okay. So thanks for that information. So there's a couple of report changes that I wanted to highlight for you as well in 12.2. One of the standard reports has been changed, the period profit report, and this has been enhanced to show some different columns on the report. So previously you needed to fiddle around with the you needed to fiddle around with the parameters of the report to be able to see either the gross profit or the net profit. And on the preview of this period report, so the PDF version, you can now see both of these. So you can see an invoiced value per job or per phase, depending on how you're running the report. You can see any purchase or expense costs, giving you a gross profit figure and percentage margin, with the ability to then show also any time and material costs that are ticked off against this job or this invoice, giving you a net profit amount and percentage as well. So that's enhanced the PDF version. So the recommended charge and investment columns have been dropped from the PDF. They are still available on the export of this report if you're using the standard period profit report, and they've been added on to the end of the export. So if you are using that, to kind of create other reports out of Synergist, the column order has not been changed. They've just been added on. The net profit, net columns have been added onto the end of the export. There's also a new report that's been added called a billing plan summary report. This shows billing plans at job level or phase level, and this is basically trying to show a kind of, has as a checklist really, has the job, if you're using billing plans, has it been billed, has it been planned rather, 100%. So in this item here, we can see we've got a quoted value here, but actually it's not all been planned on the billing plan. So it gives you that ability to kind of verify, has the job got a billing plan on it? That's already available, but actually is it all planned to be onto the billing plans as well? So I think that's quite a useful report for checking that every job does have a billing plan on it. Okay. So that information's all good. I'm going to hand over to Rebecca now to show you some other areas.
So if you're using the desktop, you will be used to this functionality, but we have added the ability to transfer costs from the browser, and this can be done at job level. So you can transfer costs, and you can choose to transfer from multiple phases to multiple jobs on one job or one phase at any given time. So just by selecting your phases here, you can see all the time that's within that job, and you can just change it up here to whatever it needs to go to. Like I said, changing to multiple places in one go. So really quite useful if you're correcting some time that's been posted to the wrong place. We've also added the ability to have attachments on purchase invoices. So if you want to go and become a truly paperless company, this is one step towards that. So within any of your purchase invoices, you have an attachments area here where you can upload a scan of the invoice itself to keep everything all together and linked. So those are just some of the features that are coming in 12.2. Like we said, please do look at the release notes and see if there's anything additional in there. We're going to launch one more poll just about general follow-up, and if you do have any additional questions, please do let us know and we'll be in touch in due course.
Okay, so thank you for your time this afternoon. I certainly recognise some of the developments that have come in here. Synergist is developed based on client requests, so as you're requesting either via the Agency Works or the Synergist Help Desk, then as developments do come out, they are reviewing what those requests are and putting in the best of those into the product. There will be future releases, so they're looking at having 2 releases per year. So hopefully not too long to wait if you have made suggestions. And if there's things that you have requested, if you do want us to follow up for you, then please do let us know. And that's certainly something that we can do on your behalf. So thank you for your time. Do make sure that you take the handout. And do make sure that you go to the Synergist website to see the information in detail relating to the release notes. And if you don't hear from us before, then the Synergist help desk will contact you when it's your company's turn to be upgraded. But if you do want to jump that queue, then do please let us know. Okay, so thank you for your time, and we look forward to working with you in the future. Okay, thanks, goodbye.